Welcome to the Everything and Nothing podcast, where we talk about, yep, you guessed it, everything and nothing, all at the same time. Listen, some things I talk about will seem completely random, and then there are other things that will sound like a complete stroke of genius, at least in my mind. Enjoy the show. I am completely bored out of my mind. This pandemic is killing us. It's killing me, I know that much. Just throw the whole 2020 away. Let's just be done with the whole 2020. Hey, for me, it was a great start. I walked into 2020 like on my best shit, you know what I mean? Been grinding for a while. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me. I'm an actor. You know, I transitioned from being a singer and entertainer to the acting world. And I took countless trips down to LA and spent unseen amounts of money to try to make this acting dream work. And then I find out that you just can't go up and knock on the door. You need an agent to get certain auditions, to be in certain TV and film projects. And that's the misconception, that you're just going to walk into Hollywood and they're going to say, hey, welcome you open arms. We've been waiting on you. It doesn't exactly happen like that, guys. I mean, it may be for you, because some people have stories about how they got discovered in the grocery store, and some guy took one look at you and said, hey, you're a beautiful young lady, and I think you got something special. You would be perfect for the movies. Listen, I'm a producer. Let's talk about it. Meet me at such and such a place at such and such a time. And everything unfolded from them from that point on. I mean, that could be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, during the Harvey Weinstein era, maybe that came with some strings attached. But some people are lucky enough to come out unscathed in the Hollywood landscape. Now it's being policed, and everybody's been canceled and shut down. And people we love, now we got to hate them. We got to not only hate them, we got to hate their work and everything they've ever done. Who cares if they were funny? Forget that, you know. So it's a whole thing. But so anyway, coming into 2020, I was on the biggest high I had ever experienced. I mean, I was out there on the road, I was touring, I was doing my thing. But as far as acting is concerned, my big dream, the thing I spent a lot of money on and trying to make it happen, acting classes and stuff. Well, that first step of getting an agent all of a sudden became possible for me. You know, these are the things that they said, okay, you got to, it's like with a job that says you got to have, you can't get this job that you applied for because you don't have experience. But you can't get experience or get a job because you don't have experience. So how can you actually even get a job to build on some kind of portfolio to show people what you can do? And so I really didn't know how I was going to do it. I actually began to make my own projects. I was that loser that's in the drummer in the band that nobody wants to hire to play, so he starts his own band just so he can have a gig. I was that guy. I mean, come on, I was a little better than that. I'm a good actor, at least I think so. And so I just began to make my own projects, put together my own little short films, because you can run around telling everybody you're the best at whatever you do, actor in the world, but without anything to show them what you do, then who has to believe you? So I began to do my own thing. I began to forge my own path, you know, to get some things going. But still, my resume fell short in some areas. I had a lot more work to do, but thankfully, because of who I knew as well as the skill I have, I was able to land an agent at the top of 2020. So coming off tour, I was able to land an agent, tour being theater. I was doing some theater work. And then I landed an agent, and I was getting some breakthroughs, experience in theater, short films, landed an agent. Okay, we're now you're talking. We're doing something. I mean, I was moving toward my dream. Maya Angelou said, nothing moves unless you do. So I started moving to make things happen. Got my agent, attended the Berlin Film Festival, which started shortly thereafter. And I said, okay, I'm about to rock it this time. I got me an agent. I'm representing. I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I got my backup, something to say I'm legit. I get in there. I'm schmoozing. I'm doing everything I can. I'm making connections. I'm networking. I'm sneaking in the parties. I'm crashing parties and stuff like that because, as many actors know, when you're first starting out, you're not just getting invited to the A-list parties. You got to kind of make your way around. So I faked it until I made it. And some actors wondered how I did it. I'm like, hey, guys, we're actors. Let's act our way into certain situations that we want to be in. So everything was going great. The Berlin Film Festival ended. And listen, guys, the world ended shortly thereafter. Okay? Namely, the coronavirus pandemic. Man. Shut down the momentum I had going on. I had just actually right before it happened, after Berlinale, I shot my first romantic film, and then I got a break to a big audition to star in a Hollywood film opposite two A-list stars. I had some scenes with them, and it was going to be my thing. I mean, oh man. Fun fact, I started off trying out for a smaller part in that film. And the casting director calls me. I was on the toilet at the time, which I spend most of my time. For some reason, I get most of my creativity being on the toilet. It's like my bathroom. It's like my small man cave where I can get away and be alone, For those of you who are in relationships, you know what I'm talking about. And casting director calls me, say, hey, we loved your audition, but we want you to try for an even bigger part. And your scenes are going to be directly with the stars of the movie. I'm like, holy crap, I'm in. And that is the catalyst that happened. And then the whole world shut down. So I'm like, oh, crap. So I thought I was on my way, and production shut down on the movie. Hopefully things get going again, and I have another chance to get going. But I won't give up. I just keep going. I'm that guy. I'm that fake it till you make it guy. I'm that survivalist. I'm that keep pushing. Like many of you, I just never give up, and I roll with the punches. And no matter what's thrown my way, I try my best to handle it. Keep the stress down. Don't freak out over too much. Hey, I'm black, the way I grew up, the way I came up in America, it ain't too much that can shake me these days. And, a lot of things that happen to my friends who are fellow actors in the business who grew up with sort of a silver spoon in their mouth. When they tell me about the things that happened to them, I'm like, hey, that's rich people problems to me. Because for me, what I went through growing up, everything is a blessing. I mean, I didn't come from the richest background. I'm doing all right for myself now, but, it's been a long road. So, yeah, things are just really starting off for me and trying to become successful. And then the coronavirus pandemic hit. And then I had two choices. Most of us have two choices during the coronavirus pandemic. Either you going to get really creative or you going to get really lazy. I did half and half of that. So the lazy part, is this belly that y'all can't see on screen right now, because I became a bit of a foodie during the pandemic and kind of ate everything in sight, which I gotta get rid of that spare tire I got going there. But then the creative part is this bastard that I created, this podcast that was impregnated by the whole coronavirus pandemic, Everything and Nothing Podcasts, which was a shameless plug right there, by the way. Yeah, so, let's look at it as a positive. Of course, it's not positive. The people that suffered in the coronavirus pandemic, the people suffered and died or got sick or anything like that. But for many of us, it was a reset. Consider it a hard reset. All right. Listen, before the coronavirus, the biggest excuse a lot of us had was, what? I don't have time. Everything was, I don't have time. After that is, I don't have the resources, but I don't have time. Now we got all the time in the world. What are you doing with it? Sure enough, a light depression is going to set in because of the times that we are in. But, we have to get up and just start creating and start bettering ourselves. If you don't have the resources to create what you would like to create, then just educate yourself on what it's going to take post-pandemic, what it's going to take for you to build that thing up. Other excuses besides saying I don't have the time, or I don't have the knowledge, or I don't have the resources, I don't have the team. Throw that out of the window. You got to start somewhere. Oprah didn't start off being Oprah. She started off, for example, there's this picture going around on the internet, and it shows the other mega trillionaire, Jeff Bezos of Amazon. There's a picture going around on the internet, and he had this little rinky-dink office. Everything seems like in chaotic, some kind of chaos, organized chaos. And written on the wall, which seemed like it was written in crayon, it said Amazon.com. Okay, so if Jeff Bezos started there, and now he is darn near close to being a trillionaire, mind you, after the divorce that set him back, I believe close to 200 million. Then that example alone should tell us, just start moving. Just start doing a little something here and there, little by little. It'll build itself. Hey, the journey of 1,000 miles, starts with one step. Step one, building a building starts with brick one, starts with a foundation, so to speak, to get things up and running. So during this pandemic, throw away all the excuses and just start stepping, start building. Be the Tyler Perry of your own dream. What do I mean by that? I mean, Tyler Perry on all his projects, even starting when he was homeless and threw everything into his dream, on his projects, what did you see in the credits? Director, Tyler Perry. Producer, Tyler Perry. Executive producer, Tyler Perry. Writer, Tyler Perry. Actor, Tyler Perry. In the beginning, maybe you're not going to have the luxury of having a big team to back your dream. And anyway, in building a team, maybe not everybody's even going to share your vision anyway, or your work ethic the way you would like to. So to get it off the ground, maybe you have to start off alone and do every job that's necessary to build everything up until you're able to build a quality team around you, And you will find that quality team to help take you to the next level. But don't let that stop you from starting off. It's like, I'll tell you this. The enemy of all startups is actually starting up. We have a problem just even getting started. Prime example, people that say they want to get in the gym and get fit. course, it's the number one New Year's resolution everybody says to themselves. New Year's lie. A New Year's delusion that everybody says to themselves. I want to get in the gym, get in shape and all of that stuff. But the hardest part is starting up, taking that first step out of the bed, getting in the gym. Once you get in the gym, then you can, you start to feel the power. You see everybody else working out. You're motivated. You got your gym clothes. Yeah, you're doing it. You're in it. But you got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere, guys. Got to start somewhere. And what better time than during this pandemic? You got all the time in the world. But, however, follow my system, if you will. I mean, I do half and half. I play, I work. I work, I play. I don't like to put too much strain on my brain and kind of burn out too early, so I watch a few videos. It gives me some relaxation in the brain. It also shoots me some creativity, and then I start creating, and in my downtime, besides watching YouTube videos, getting caught in the YouTube vortex, you know how it is. YouTube vortex is when you watch one video and then another and then another and then another. And the next thing you know, 3 hours have passed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the YouTube vortex. So besides getting caught in the YouTube vortex, I had, during the coronavirus pandemic, many of you can agree on this, the saving grace of the streaming gods. Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, just to name a few, which kind of saved us from boredom. At one time we only had Netflix, and many of us thought we'd seen everything there is to see on Netflix. There's nothing left to even see. But now we have all these other streaming platforms that give us other options. Some of us have ordered these streaming platforms and are paying the actual bill as our actual service, and others of us have borrowed a passcode or two from our brother or cousin or whoever to make it work. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. Do your thing. I've done it myself before. Hey, even with music, I used to bootleg, download music, Napster and all of that good stuff. LimeWire. Now I buy music. If a artist makes a body of work or even a piece, a single that does something to me, move me, gives me something, I like to support them. Why? Because I want them to keep on making music. I want them to be supported financially so they can keep on giving us the soundtrack to our lives that get us through the hard times, especially like right now. Same thing with movies. I order the streaming platforms. I order the movies. I pay for them so they can keep on producing them. Hey, I'm going to be in some of those movies one day. I don't want anybody bootlegging the movies that I'm in. So I kind of support, the people, the people that entertain us. We need that entertainment. Don't spend your whole life giving out energy, giving out everything, and not getting something in to fuel your fire, to give you energy. We as entertainers, we're always entertaining other people, always trying to make people laugh. We're constantly giving out all the time. And so for me, places like Netflix and the other streaming platforms are something that entertains me. I don't have to dance around and all of that and entertain other people. I can just sit there and be entertained, and it gives me something. And then I can put it back out into the world. Hey, it's a cycle. It's a whole circle of life. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anybody that's confused about who I am, if you're just now tuning in, yeah, I'm an actor, entertainer, and due to the coronavirus pandemic, I decided to become a podcaster. Largely inspired by the Joe Rogan Experience. You should check that podcast out if you get a chance to. It's running on YouTube, but currently he's secured a deal to switch over to Spotify. Now, my podcast, you can listen to it on Anchor. For those of you who just like to listen. But of course, for the video version, you can find me right here on YouTube, or you can find me on places like Facebook Watch. And I'm just going to give it to you straight, guys. Whatever I'm feeling on that day, whatever my opinion is. I mean, like I said, this is the Everything and Nothing podcast. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about sometimes nonsense. Some things are going to sound like very random, like I say, and some things are going to sound like a complete stroke of genius, at least in my mind, you know. And we're just going to get it out. So my question to you guys today, and you can leave it in the comments, how has the apocalypse, I mean, not the apocalypse, the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, how has that affected you? What did it do in your life? How has it changed your life? What did this hard reset do for you? What did it make you change? How are you getting through it? How are you surviving everything? And also, I'd like to know, what do you plan on doing post-pandemic? After the coronavirus pandemic is over, what's the first thing you're going to do? I mean, not just creatively or work-wise. You can comment on that too. But also tell me what you're going to do for fun. I know many of you are out there waiting to hit the clubs, waiting to get into the bars. You know, for the first month of the coronavirus pandemic, I had a whole black tie get up hanging up on my door over there. The tuxedo and all, keeping hope alive that it was going to be over soon and that I was going to be able to get out and attend a buddy of mine's birthday that was in the south of France. And I know that sounded fancy, but I mean, I ain't got it, but a lot of my friends do. So thank God for that. And so every now and then I get to dress up and sip a little bubbly at the old party. Yeah, so that was going on, and I held out for the first month, hoping that we could get out and party and have a good time. But the time has not come yet. Tell me what you're going to do when the world opens back up again. Now, for those of you who are confused right now and think the world has already opened back up, it has not. Just because you saw a little sunshine outside, that doesn't mean that the pandemic is over. I see a lot of y'all running to the beach, you running to do that. And I know you want your freedoms and you want some sense of normalcy to come back into your lives. But let's try to listen to the experts, guys. Let's try to stay safe, social distance, quarantine, whatever it takes. Wash your hands, the whole thing. Do it in moderation, guys, and we'll slowly get back on track, you know, and get back out there. But until we do, stay safe, guys. And I'll see you next time. Well, that about wraps it up, guys. If you like what you've heard, please favorite us on Anchor. And if you'd like to enjoy the video version of this podcast, join us on YouTube, like and subscribe. This has been the Everything and Nothing podcast. I'm your host, Samuel S. Franklin. Until next time, guys, be well.